Hello children, my name is Kanak Rupani. I am going to teach you lesson 5, the apricot tree, page number 37. Take only the bare essentials, go to the camp at Dras, make sure that all women and children leave the area. He jumped off, got into the jeep and rode off in the direction of the next village. Aunt Akbar's old Suleiman and Amina refused to leave. Chacha was 95 years old. Never I can't leave my animals behind, he said angrily. Who will feed them? Fine then, if you are not going, neither am I, Chachi said emphatically. Don't be stubborn, Ammi pleaded. This is a matter of life and death. Come along with us. You go, Beti, Chachi said. Your children are small. When Arshad, Mia and Usman come home, we will tell them where you have gone. We will take care of your animals too. In the late afternoon, a man yelled through a loudspeaker and informed the villagers that they should evacuate their homes and they should take only the bare essentials, and he asked them to go to the camp at Dras. Chacha, who was 95 years old, refused to leave and said, if he goes, who will look after the animals? Chachi also refused to go. But Ammi pleaded, requested them and said that was a matter of life and death, they should come along with them. But Chachi said, you go, Beti, because your children are small, and when Arshad, Mia and Usman come home, we'll tell them where you have gone. We will take care of your animals too. Ammi was unhappy about leaving them behind, but what could she do? There was hardly any time. The villagers had begun to leave their belongings, pots, pans and bags of rations piled on mule backs or on their own heads. Take your school books, Ammi said. I was hoping she would forget, but I knew better than to argue. She let Habiba take her favorite doll and a new pair of shoes. Ammi left a letter for Abba. Now Ammi was unhappy because Chacha and Chachi were left behind and all the villagers had begun to leave. They had taken their belongings, pots, pans and bags of rations piled on mule backs. The narrator was hoping that Ammi would forget about books, but she told him, take your school books. And she also let Habiba take her favorite doll and a new pair of shoes. Ammi left a letter for Abba. We joined the straggly line heading for the town. Straggly means untidy line, not organized or straight. The narrow road was chock full of army trucks loaded with soldiers. In the field next to the river, men were scurrying about carrying boxes of ammunition, pitching tents and setting up big guns. We made slow progress. Habiba started to complain her new shoes were pinching. She wanted to take them off and throw them away. Ammi picked her up and carried her. By sunset, we had covered only 3 kilometers. As they were heading for the town, in the fields next to the river, men were scurrying about carrying boxes of ammunition and setting up big guns, and Habiba started to complain that her new shoes were pinching and she wanted to take them off and throw them away. Ammi picked her up and carried her, and they had covered till now only 3 kilometers. We spent that night in the open. It was very cold. The soldiers did not allow us to light fires. Habiba snuggled with Ammi. I had my own blanket. I thought I would sleep. I would not sleep a wink. It was a clear night. Around us, a ring of jagged peaks rose up to meet the stars. Somewhere in those peaks were Abba and Usman. Thinking we were safe in our beds, would I ever see them again? Before I knew, the sun was up and Ammi was shaking me awake. She looked tired, as if she had not slept a wink. She gave me the last of the naans to eat. It was hard and dry, but I ate all of it. Hurry, Ammi said. We must be on our way before the shelling starts. We passed two villages. They were totally deserted. There was not a single house without a roof or a wall missing. The ruined village made me sad. Everyone was quiet, even Habiba. Just as we passed the last house, there was a scuffling sound. Habiba shrieked. A big black head stared at us dolefully out through a broken wall. It was a yak. They had spent the night in the open. It was very cold. The soldiers did not allow them to light fires, and Habiba snuggled with Ammi. The narrator had his own blanket, and he thought that he would not sleep a wink. It was a clear night. The narrator is thinking, would he ever meet Abba and Usman? The night passed and the sun was up. Ammi was shaking him awake. She looked tired as she had not slept, and she gave the narrator the last of the naans to eat. The naans were very hard and dry, but he ate all of it. Now Ammi said, hurry up, because before the shelling starts, they should be on their way. Till now they passed two villages which were totally deserted, not a single house without a roof or a wall missing. There was not a single house. The ruined village made me sad. The ruined village made the narrator sad. Everyone was quiet, even Habiba. When they had just passed the last house, there was a confused sound, scuffling sound, and Habiba shrieked. Why did she shriek? Because she saw a yak. A big black head stared at them dolefully out through a broken wall, and it was a yak. Habiba shrieked because she saw a yak.